Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of March 21st. It is patch day. Patch 10.0.7 arrives today. We will first get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week, however. This week we have Fortified, Spiteful, Grievous, and Thundering. Again, that's Fortified, Spiteful, Grievous, and Thundering. Again, it's a Grievous week. Healers don't like that too much, understandably so. Maybe because it's a patch week, more people will be into it, but who knows? It's definitely a hard week to find a healer that does not want to deal with Grievous. Spiteful, obviously, a little bit annoying for melee as well. So not the most enjoyable. It's also fortified with Spiteful. It's not one of the most joyful weeks, that's for sure, when it comes to affixes. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going into the game before we transition to talking mostly about the patch. So as far as events this week we do have the Dragonflight Dungeon event, so you can participate in that. I believe you get like a piece of heroic loot if you do that dungeon event. So that's one of the better events. And then we also do have the Trial of Style going on this week, which should have new rewards available in it. They are supposed to have new rewards. I have not queued for it yet. I record this, the day before, Tuesday, which is Monday, of course. And I have not. It's already out, but I have not tried it yet with the new rewards or whatever. So I will be doing that at some point, checking that out and see what we got to work with there. So Trial of Style is this week. Also during this time, transmogging your gear is also just free. It's like a little joyous transmog time of the game. I believe it's twice a year, so take advantage of that or check it out while you can. Also, I mean, other than that, there's actually nothing big going on as far as events in the game. But of course, we have the biggest event, and what we'll spend most of the rest of the time talking about, which is, of course, it's patch day. So the number one thing you want to do for any player is whenever you log on this week or next week or whatever, the first time you log on, is you do want to head to the new zone. You'll get a quest to do so. It's just north of Waking Shores. You can just fly there. Currently, if you fly, currently this second of me recording this, if you fly there, you'll get electrocuted or whatever. But with the defeat of Razagath, the storm, primal, the storm that's on the Waking or on the Forbidden Reach or whatever, fades. It's in the cinematic. This whole thing's in the cinematic. But the storm fades. Now we can go there. And when we go there, we find there's all kinds of cool stuff there. Because it was like Neltharion's secret place or whatever. So we head there, and you just want to follow the quest line. You want to get your ring, start getting your stones, and just follow the quest line and participate in everything there. Like the TLDR of it is, first of all, do the quest lines obviously, and then second of all, if you want to really min-max the vaults and stuff, you want to go kill all the rares, do all the events. Basically, if you open your map and you see something on your map, go do it. There's a good chance you'll get a key for doing it, and then you can do more of the vaults, which give you more of the gems, which power up your ring. And that's kind of like the really short version of it. But if you do want to participate in the ring, and the ring's for everybody, you don't have to be a mythic raider. Everybody gets the 224? Or not 224, 424 item level ring, something like that. I believe it's like 424 item level ring. Everybody gets it. You get to power it up with the gems. It does not have secondary stats on it. Some people say it's not very strong. Obviously, for a casual player, it's going to be extremely strong. It's going to be your highest item level thing. I mean, it's going to be everybody's highest item level thing. But if you're a very casual player, it's going to be by far your highest item level thing. But they did say in an interview that they intended on it to be a strong item. So if it is a bit weak, if the gems are a bit weak, they could perhaps buff those gems up to make it so people actually want to use it, because that is their goal. To just give a kind of a comparison of what this ring is, it's kind of like the punch card from Operation Mechagon, where you can put different punch cards into it and they would do different abilities. A lot of people would use the same one. I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head, and that was like the only one worth using. In this case, there's tons of gems and tons of combinations you can use. You can become super defensive. You can add DPS. You can add healing onto what you're doing, and so there's many uses for it. Again, no secondary stats. So that for some classes is very, very bad, more than others. So that is something that's a class by class basis. But again, if you're a casual player, it's probably going to be just super good for you and probably super cool, because when you're not competing at the very highest levels, you can actually just use cool gems that do cool things and kind of just enjoy it more. So it'll be something that when I get it on my alts, that I just choose whatever I think is the coolest one and use that, because I don't care about their damage or anything like that. I play my alts mostly just for fun, and I play them more when I enjoy the game and having fun with the game and stuff like that. But yeah, there's also storyline content. There's encrypted stuff that people haven't data mined yet. Probably like cinematics and stuff would be my guess there. So there's storyline implications and there's stuff to do before we head into the actual big patch of 10.1 in a couple months. So this is a pretty big patch with a good amount of stuff to do. The new ring as well. I think you can also upgrade your Storms gear up higher item level as well. So this is like a huge win for casual players to upgrade your gear even more. If you are rocking out with the Storms gear, nothing wrong with that. You can upgrade that gear even more as well. So quite a lot to do. Pretty exciting patch. And I would be remiss if I also didn't mention, of course, the Rat Paladin stuff. So obviously I made a Rat Paladin. A lot of the content on my channel is Rat Paladin based because of that. And, we have a big rework coming through. The TLDR of that, the big things you can expect to see is obviously a little bit of a change in playstyle. For Holy Power Spender currently being the best thing you can choose. So you that's a complete change in play style. You're not spending at 3 anymore. If that continues to be true, after this video is out, and you'll be more defensive. Tons of defensive options. You are super unkillable in like casual content, and you're like almost unkillable in hard content. It's very strong defensively. Very minor speed buffs. Probably even though we got more speed abilities. Probably the biggest buff is literally just the horse being off global cooldown. So you could have pressed your spender and then still panic press your horse and not have to wait a second and maybe die because you were on GCD. That's probably honestly the biggest buff, but there are other movement things. Again, the more casual you are, the more these movement changes are going to feel like a buff to you, because you're not caring as much about min-maxing in that case. Like using the judgment talent, you could just always use the judgment talent and always have 10% increased movement speed, for example. That's something that you could do. So, there's good mobility changes, but not like elite mobility by any means, just slightly better. And then a slight damage increase as well. In fact, today there was slight buff right before this patch goes live. It's just it's basically like a 3% buff. There's other changes than that, but it's like a 3% aura buff that was put in the other day as a nerf, minus 3%. That simply was just put up plus 3%. So it'll be a slight damage gain for you. In AoE, it'll probably still be a slight damage gain too. There's some people dooming about that, but especially with 3% more, if it's very close, that probably puts it over towards the good side. But we'll see for sure. But it should be a damage gain, should be super high defensive gain, and a slight mobility gain. So 2 slight gains and a huge defensive gain, and a slightly different play style, but not monumentally different play style, I will say. So, obviously I'm super hyped about that myself and excited to get into the raid and hopefully feel unkillable, which would be very nice. I haven't felt that way since Legion, so that'd be really, really cool. We're on Mythic Razagath. We have completed first intermission, but haven't really got to see, it hasn't been clean, so we haven't really got to see phase 2 yet. Not in any meaningful way. Like, we've seen it physically with our eyes, but not got to learn anything or practice anything in it, basically. And so hopefully, the goal would be, of course, to get phase 2 down this week, maybe even second intermission parts of it, and then then there's only one more stage to go. And a lot of times that stage is not one of the harder ones because it's just kind of a burn phase, and we have plenty of gear for burning and plenty of DPS and stuff like that. So after this week, we're kind of in the home stretch probably. So hopefully this week's very productive. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully it's very productive. And then maybe even probably not next week, but maybe, but within the next couple weeks, maybe finally get that achievement taken care of, cutting edge, and, be happy with that. So that's it for this one, guys. Again, I'm super excited. Hopefully everyone else is too. Lots of content in Dragonflight. I keep saying this this week in WoW, but still doing really good. It's just kind of surprising me. They are so far holding up their end of the bargain and doing very well with Dragonflight. So I have no complaints there, just as a game, right? I have complaints about maybe my class or my spec or this or that, tuning of something. But as a game, it's doing very, very well. So very happy about that. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.